Hey guys, it's Adrenaline7 here. Now, let's talk about the granddaddy franchise that popularized the FPS genre, Wolfenstein. Now, Wolfenstein 3D was not the first FPS game. You know, games like Maze War and Spasm created in the mid-70s and this Battlezone. It wasn't even the first Wolfenstein game. Wolfenstein actually began as a top-down stealth game where you had to dodge Nazis and escape a prison-like castle called Castle Wolfenstein. And it even had a sequel, Beyond Castle Wolfenstein. The franchise was taken over by id Software and worked on by, John Carmack, John Romero, and Tom Hall, who created the game we played back in '92. Also, if you're a self-proclaimed game nerd and don't know those names, shame on you. While Duke Nukem 3D defined my childhood gaming experience, Wolf 3D was the beginning of it. Again, I have fond memories of my dad playing this game while I would watch him over his shoulder, kind of like what my eldest son does with me. The game was wicked, and it's even aged well in a really nostalgic way. Spirit of Destiny came out later and served as a prequel to Wolf 3D. From there, it spent most of their time on the Doom franchise, which I have to admit, pretty much one up to Wolfenstein. But in 2001, other developers helped create a new reboot of Wolfenstein with one of its ID's engines anyway, called Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which brought a whole new, a lot more tech and supernatural designs and influences into the mix, more than Spear of Destiny. This game was really cool, but I never got into it, probably because I never played it when it first came out on 6th gen consoles and PC. I mean, not much happened until 2009, where, Wolfenstein 09 being released on 7th gen consoles. This game gave you a medallion where you could use supernatural powers for yourself, such as traveling through dimensions and freezing time, and then you get to fight lots of zombie Nazis as well. It wasn't the strongest game in the entry, in the series and stuff like that, but it was fun for a while. Some more years happened and another reboot happened with Machine Games creating the New Order, and oh my god, did it rock my socks and jocks, I swear to god. It's my favorite shooter to date, it really is. Using a newer engine, it brought a new fury and focus to the graphics, the mechanics and gameplay to the FPS genre, at least for me. But even though the gunplay and gruesomeness was awesome and that's what drew me in, it was the story and the world immersion and the narrative that actually kept me wanting more. The game was focused more on the future tech side of design choices, which for an alternate history work of fiction suited it so well. It was almost like a European view of, the man in the high castle. The Old Blood was released a year later and acted as a prequel to the New Order. It used similar, if not identical, design choices from Return to Castle Wolfenstein, such as the trolley to the castle and Kessler and stuff like that. The gameplay was very similar to the New Order, but this time I focused more on the supernatural than technology, reintroducing Nazi zombies. Now, we have a sequel to the New Order, the new Colossus, using the newer ID Tech 6 engine. Now, set in the United States during the reign of the Nazi German Empire, this is as close to a representation of the east side of the US in the Man in the High Castle, apart from the Amazon series, which didn't really follow the book very much, but it was still good. I can't say more about this game other than I'm really, really pumped to play this. I truly thought that, and spoiler alert, truly thought that BJ actually dies in the nuclear explosion at the end for the last game, and I learned to accept that. But here he is, and he's ready to kill some Nazi scum. Now, for a franchise that's been going on for like 36, 37 years or something like that, do you really think that it would kind of peter out and try and die with dignity? This is excluding Nintendo brands, obviously. But it is evident that Wolfenstein is stronger than ever and shows no chance of dying anytime soon. Is the franchise still relevant? After several years and a number of reboots, I think ID, Machine Games, and Bethesda have got the formula right here. Taking a look into the alternate future of Nazis winning the World War II is not a new concept, but Wolfenstein easily is the most stylish of them all. This latest series is the definitive Wolfenstein experience, and I would strongly urge any fan of FPS games to play, in particular the New Order. I mean, you'll love it, and if you don't, then go back to COD Loser. Now, don't relax. I want you to sit on the edge of your seat and enjoy the latest game from the Wolfenstein franchise. This is the new Colossus. So how's it going, everybody? when I was recording the footage here, I was having a bit of trouble with my with the audio, so unfortunately the microphone kept cutting out as I was playing the game, and I would only get like 4 minutes footage out of or 4 minutes recording out of about 20 minutes worth. So I'm going to be doing a particular voiceover for this one. So I'll play it, record it, and then afterwards I will do the voices, like I'll do the commentary for it after, from then. So what we're watching here is actually, see, here's where it says previously on Wolfenstein: A New Order. So what it's doing is it's playing you the main particular story plot parts of the previous Wolfenstein game, which is wicked. Okay, so I think it was here. Oh no, it wasn't here. No. In any case, like this, the New Order was fantastic. It was, I found it very immersive. The story, not truly believable, but it was really fun. Okay, so here it's giving you a bit of backstory about how William Blazkowicz, how BJ basically tried to defeat Death's Head at the start of the game in 1946, I think it was. Obviously this is alternate history, so it's a whole different thing. And what happens then is, obviously he gets caught, he gets injured, he suffers a brain injury, and he loses, basically becomes a vegetable for about, 12 years or something like that. And during those 12 years, he's actually hospitalized in a insane asylum where he's, taken care of and all that sort of stuff. So that's where he meets Anna, who is the daughter of one of the head nurses or something like that in the asylum, in the hospital, and she's actually the daughter of the main doctor who owns the place, or who runs the place. She, with her grandparents actually, end up finding the Kreisau Circle, which in previous Wolfenstein games was actually the resistance, the German local resistance against the Nazis. So what their plan was to get a particular person, Seth Roth, I think his name was. Anyway, he goes. So BJ goes into a prison camp, finds him, and brings him back to the Kreisau Circle. And here he's talking about the secret technology that the Yadashakur, or something like that. I can't remember the name. Yadashakur. I should just shut up for it. Still, in any case. So basically, it's just a matter of story from here. So they eventually make it to Death's Head after, getting a submarine, going to the moon, and, doing all sorts of stuff around London and stuff like that as well. So, and the final battle itself, as you can see here on the screen. So it's bad enough that you were badly injured from there. So, as you can see, BJ's just dragging. And there we go, that's what happens there. So that's why I believe that BJ actually died. Because who can survive a nuclear blast except for cockroaches? Seriously. But here we go. And do I have bad graphics on this one? Do I have bad graphics? It's hard to tell from here. I think I had some graphical issues when I was playing this game. It looks pretty good as it is now, but when you see the hair follicles, it makes it a lot harder.
Your father won't be home.
And here is a bit of exposition as well. So we're talking about, our dad beating us up. But if you have a look at, obviously, I'm assuming that's the mum's face. Yeah, I'm assuming that's the mum's face, but... So here we have to choose between Wyatt and Fergus to sacrifice, and it makes it a bit harder. Now, in the original game, I think I ended up... What was I ended up doing? I think I ended up doing, the Fergus timeline. Because that's what I did in the previous game. I just realised my audio is out of sync of the game. Oh, that's gonna make it a bit harder for me. So here we go. So we get saved as well.
Blessing to have finished the work I was put on this earth to do. Surrounded by friends that love me.
So yeah, we get a whole bunch of flashbacks while he's
Fire. Yes, madam. He's bleeding out. Go faster.
And the great warmth washing over me. I think the sky's on fire.
Yeah, the audio's out of sync. God damn it, this is what happens when you get a video that's about 5 minutes into it. Oh man, I just wish I could get my... It stinks to sync up properly. The frame rate getting captured and the frame rate that it's playing at is obviously not syncing up really well. So here, this actually gives you really big clues as to BJ's past as well and his heritage. So obviously you can hear that our mum has a bit of an accent as well. I believe it is Polish. I believe it's Polish. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Pole myself. I'm actually Irish, but at the same time, it's basically just you know, in the original Wolfenstein games, it actually talks about BJ being of American Polish heritage or something like that, and it's great to see in the new game here that they're sticking with that as well. You know, it brings a lot more depth to BJ as a character, and that was one of the things that you know, in the first Wolfenstein games, it's like, how could you do that? Like, how can you give BJ a bit of a personality? Well, first of all, he's got a huge Spartacus-looking chin, so that itself brings about his personality a bit, but it doesn't really do much after that. And the fact that when you get injured, the face changes as well, thanks to Catacombs 3D for that, because that's what they tried to do in that one. Every time, you know, they use the face as a health bar. So here we've got more exposition about, you know, how BJ became to be.
Oh no. Mother. I'm going to hell.
Yeah, really morbid stuff, really sinister stuff going on.
We'll have to cut most of his intestines out.
Whatever it takes, Dad, please. Stay with us, Blazkowicz. You fight through this, and I promise you everything will be all right.
Kinderlach, bring me anyone for the give blood.
Yeah, you can see the hair follicles on some of the characters that it just doesn't seem right. Unless I re-recorded this, I can't be too sure. Oh, well. Oh god, look at that, man. Like, I struggle with shows like RPA and surgery game, you know, surgery videos and stuff like that. Especially when you see moving organs actually pumping and, you know, still breathing, still living. It really sucks. I really don't feel comfortable with it. But, you know, it's funny. Images and webms and stuff like that, you know, and anime, you know, all that blood and guts, yeah, I'm all for it. Like, these games in particular, the more gore, the more Gibbs, the better. But when it's in reality, when you see it actually functioning and moving, it's a whole uncomfortable feeling then for me.
Tooth and nail. Getting screwed out of my earnings left and right. Humiliating myself just to keep the business alive. I saw them two together, Sophia. Getting sweet with each other under the poplar tree. This cannot happen!
Oh god.
I have worked too hard for too damn long to lose my...
So yeah, you can actually still move during these scenes, but it's more about looking. So you can look around, you can do stuff, but you can't actually physically move, like, you know, straight left and right. And you got all puppers next to us as well. Aww.
I clean. I tend to the stables, to the field. You are not the only one struggling.
Man, just a completely unsympathetic man. No empathy whatsoever. Nothing like that. It's all about business for him. He's using as well. He's using her and her family.
All the money my father invested, you have lost.
You are playing with fire, Sophia. What are you doing? I am not the man you want to mouth off to.
You are not the man I married. I married a man who would never let his family go hungry. So help me. I will not let you hurt my son.
You shut your damn mouth, boy.
Oh god.
What is it with
I'm just glad that my dad wasn't like this with me. Sure enough, my dad could be a bit of a butthole at times, and I'm a bit of a butthole to my kids at times. But my god, I'd never want to be anything like this, and I'm glad that I've never had to experience anything like this before.
raise the boy right? I'll do it for you.
Get away.
Oh, smack. Oh, that was so out of the way. Oh god, the stupid syncing issues. Oh. So yeah, you get to run around and everything like that. You can actually throw vases and stuff. You can actually throw things at him, but then he starts chasing you. But I decided to go with the more sympathetic route and actually went to the mother first. And I think that's a bit of a bug there. He's supposed to be looking up at you, and now he's looking down at my crotch. Makes it a bit more concerning that way.
At least I can teach you how to take it.
Slow your breathing, bless.
Oh, here we go. More sinking issues.
Strength.
Man, this is terrible.
Big hands with emotion.
I think the hair has... I think I must have actually... Yeah, this isn't the original recording I done. This is actually a second type of recording. Yeah, because I think the first recording I did, I suffered a bit of graphical issues, which bloody well sucks.
Can you feel the kicking?
Oh, and she's pregnant as well. Oh, hot damn. Oof. You know, having one kid is stressful enough, but, you know, when you've got 4, like I have, it's... Oof, it can be a nightmare at times. It's just chaos.
Bessie, dinner time.
Yeah, when I first saw this scene, I was just like, oh god, what's going to happen? Is he going to smack me, or is he going to abuse me of some sort? You know, physically or sexually or something like that. But as soon as I saw the dog tied up and I saw the gun, I knew what was going to happen.
You got to make hard decisions.
Damn right, you got to make hard decisions.
And sometimes you got to punish the animals out there. It's kill or be killed. The old and the weak are doomed.
God, I'm just trying to think when this would be.
Scum.
This would... Oh, this was... Yeah, 1919, that's right. There was a calendar at the start.
Doing everything in their power to rob the
Jeez.
white man of what he's earned. It's on us to straighten out the queer. It's on you. Finger on the trigger.
So here, you can actually... You know, you can aim at the dog, or you can do what I did and aim away.
Shoot her.
I didn't do it. No, I didn't.
You are so feeble, just like your mother.
Oh god. When I purposely missed, I was like, oh god, I hope everything's alright, but... Nah. Apparently not.
It will end better.
Oh, will it? Go. And here we go. Here we get into the actual, like, proper, you know, present day. So 1961. So you can actually hear alarms going off. You can look at the, like, Frankenstein, like, stitches all over me. You can see my package. Oh god. My wife's been like that before. Obviously not injured with the bloody intestines coming out, but she did have vertigo, and that was just as bad. As soon as she stood up, or as soon as she raised her head, she had to throw up. Oh, damn. Oh, gruesome as hell. Considering they're resistance fighters and stuff like that, I don't mind their shoes. The shoes are actually quite cool. They got the old-fashioned Chuck Taylors on. So here we go. This is where you can actually get into proper gameplay as well. So you move around in a wheelchair, and I have to admit, the graphics of this were just... Yeah, they were really cool. I really got into it. But it was also that the controls, like just moving around in the wheelchair, it doesn't feel like it inhibits you. Like the mechanics actually work really well in the wheelchair. So I'm just looking around here because usually in the first room or something like that in one of these games, there's always some sort of item, like semi-hidden item that you want to grab. Hello, nameless Jimmy.
It's you. Take this. They're looking for you.
And you get a decent gun to start off with as well. Oh, and the frame rate starts to go. Oh god. So here goes. He's completely gone. So I think I go out and do I shoot anyone outside? Yeah, I do. Okay, so the good thing is that they have an enemy that's lying on the floor to make it easy for you to aim and stuff like that. So even though this is the first mission, everything like that, this kind of acts like a tutorial for you, and they don't want you to die straight away, so they make it somewhat easier for you. And I actually have a little bit of difficulty with the iron sights and stuff like that with these games. Also, the health that you pick up, you can see how it's diminishing there, so you've got a set health of 50. Every time you grab health from there, it actually goes up, you get overcharge, and it slowly diminishes from there. So I'm going to leave it there, and as you can see, we've moved it here. I'll save my game and everything like that, and we're actually going to continue on do this mission in the next video. So guys, thanks very much, and we'll see you next time. So long.